Welcome. In this lesson, we are going to recognize and write Airhaa, which is one of the akkars, and it makes an sound. Before I do that, guess what? You should know gaga out of these 4. You should know mama out of these 6. You should see dada right away out of these 5. This you should know is ja. You should know ya. You should know ta. You should know va or wa. And you should know ta as in both. You should know dada as in gurdwara. You should know Uda. Yes, our favorite. Akkar. Uda, the first akkar actually. And here we go. I am now going to talk about Airhaa. Now, I've always had trouble with Airhaa. Okay, the reason is I just didn't know how to do it until I thought about it very carefully, and I decided that the best way to learn Airhaa was actually to think of N, the English letter N, and imagine that the N starts to slouch forward like this. See how he's slouching? Now, if he's slouching, he might fall over. So guess what? He sticks out his hand, okay, this line right here. He sticks out this red hand in order to stop himself from falling. But if he's still falling, he needs to touch something. So guess what? He stops himself by touching up against a wall. So the slouching end does not fall if it's touching up against the wall. And guess what? That is what Airhaa looks like. See how the N is touching and leaning forward and stopping himself by falling by touching up against the wall. So we're going to come back to this again when we actually write it out, but here we go. Let's practice. Repeat after me. Airhaa. 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 How do we write Airhaa? Okay, we start, come back down, loop around, and go to the top of the N. The N comes back down again, loops back around before it touches the wall. I need a wall, so I go up and give myself a wall coming down, and then, of course, going across like this. Okay, now what you'll see is that the N, okay, is lower than the starting point, and then the feet of the N are both angled and also lower each time before they finally line up with the wall at the very bottom. Okay, so let's go and practice this because it's actually much easier to write it than it is to talk about it. So I'm going to go with some exaggerated motions here. Okay, so let me start. Here is the start of my Airhaa. I come down, I go and I loop back around. I go to the top for my N. See my N? And now what I do is I come back down, but this time I take my little bit further. And of course, that's a little too big, but that's okay. Now he sticks his hand out and tries to stop himself from falling. And now what I do is, of course, I have to give him a wall. I go up to give him the wall, and I come back down again, and I finish the wall. And the wall is a little bit lower than his feet. And then I give him the ending point right there. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go hit the yellow color, and all I want to do is I just want to show you. See how this line here goes down like this, and then this line goes. So the N is really slouching, okay, but his feet are lined up, and they're lined up with the wall. And trust me, it is going to take some practice, okay? It's going to take practice, so let's you and I practice at least one more time, and I'll just do it in yellow, okay? Airhaa. 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 Okay, see that? He stuck his hand out, and this time I'll walk you through just like I usually do. So here it is, my Airhaa starts. He's coming down. He's got a big turnaround. He's got the N shape coming. Airhaa. He's coming back down again. He's coming back down. He's wrapping around. He's scared. He's going to fall. He sticks his hand out. Airhaa. There's no wall. Let's give the Airhaa a wall so he does not fall. The N doesn't fall. Airhaa. 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 Okay. All right. That's not too bad. Let's try to end with a green this time. Okay. And then we'll talk about the Airhaas. Airhaa. 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 There's my N forming. Airhaa. Airhaa. He's going to fall. Let's give him the wall. Airhaa. 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 And Airhaa. Okay. So just looking at these Airhaas, I think I like my yellow one a little bit better. Yeah, I think I like this guy the best so far. And because I think I got the shapes down pretty nicely. Over here, you'll see that my lines aren't really lined up. See how I didn't really line up my lines? This one's got a little bit of a gap as well. But overall, you know, those are some pretty good airhas for starting out. Now, I want you to do the following. Make sure. Airhaa is a tough one. Look at it carefully, play the video back again, and practice Airhaa at least 10 times until you get the shape right. And trust me, you may be coming back to Airhaa several times to write it, but that is just okay. All right? Don't be shy. And you know what? I'd like to thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. I know this is really hard work, but I want you to know you've got 23 akkar down. So you're more than halfway through the akkar. All right? Have a wonderful day, and I will see you again.